Wedge Island. I'm going to drive up to Grey along the coast. Don't know why they bothered to put a speed up right in there anyway. Up to Grey, along the coast, past all the campsites, map all the campsites because I keep forgetting to do that. And up along the beach. Don't know if I'll go into the dunes, but we'll wait and see. Wedge Island here, lots of little fishing shacks. And around this time of year, there's in the holiday times, plenty of people around, lots of kids around, so we really need to drive very carefully along through here. There is a little store just up on the left a bit. Sometimes it's open, sometimes it's not. A little shop. Got some hang gliders just out there to the left too. I don't know whether you can see those. I'll go and drive around there, drive out to the point, show you Wedge Island itself, and then head up the beach. Can't remember how many shacks are in this little area. I do know that government doesn't want them here. Pretty typical for this government. There's no real traffic laws here, I guess. Shop, there's a telephone box there too, actually. I don't know if it still works. This is the sports field on the left. Ice bait, seafood, opening hours. There's a little makeshift fire truck over there. Through. If you keep going up sort of to the right, you can go past the houses and you end up sort of in the side of the sand dune that you can play around on, or you can just keep going down here and you'll drop out onto the beach. The beach is, well, last time I was here and the time before that and the time before that, and yep, anyway. Beach is rock hard. You don't really need to let your tyres down to drive on the beach, but if you're going up through the dunes or crossing over, you certainly need to take a bit of air out. Yeah, it's a bit windy today, which is a bit unfortunate. Cray boats, load up all those cray boats. This is the point just up here. You can see these little sand drifts on the left. You might not be able to actually, because I know this camera's not the world's best. I'm doing it on a 360 camera. But if you're flying along the beach at a great rate of knots, you hit one of those little sand drifts, you're going to do a lot of damage. That's Wedge Island straight ahead. I know this camera doesn't like bright light and bright sunshine, and yeah, it's a bit finicky that way. Anyway, make do with what you got, I guess. I could break out the old no-go camera, GoPro or no-go, and video it on that, but I just can't be bothered. I'm not really here to film everything. I'm just here to get out, get a few photos, and have a look up the coast. Now, where'd those hang gliders go? Down there. if I kept on going down to the left, you would end up back at Lancelin. That beach is notorious for being very, very soft, and also has some really crazy angles on it where you're sort of driving along on 45 degrees. Not really good for beginner drivers, but it's good fun. Plenty of people get bogged along that beach there all the time. North of where we're going, you won't get bogged. It should actually be smoother than this. This is just the seaweed that's caught up in the stuff. Anyway, there's some hang gliders down there. I was going to go down and have a look. It's a bit bumpy. If you're wondering, I'm still in two-wheel drive. Just plodding along. It's normally a lot smoother than this. Oh yeah, you can see the seaweed in the coastline there. You do not want to drive over the top of seaweed. It sort of gives you a false sense of security. You think, oh, if I drive over the seaweed, it'll be nice and firm with the sand on top, and then it just sort of crumbles, and it's not very good. You'll end up getting bogged in there nice and easily. Don't know what's in here. Anyway, okay, just screwed the 360 onto the windscreen. This is the point at Wedge Island. Wedge Island. It's this little island just out the front here. Just over there. I guess you could swim across to there if you're really desperate. In the low tides, you can actually walk across the sand into that. It is a nature reserve. You're not supposed to be on the island, I don't think. There's a big sign over there, but I can't read it from here. It's quite dangerous swimming in this little area in front here. You've got currents coming both ways. It can get quite funny in there. So most people swim over in this side. As you can see, some little kids in the water there, where it's not so crazy in the water. That beach ahead of us, that's the one I'm going to go all the way to the end of, then jump up over the dunes, and then go and have a look at the campsites. Don't know, I didn't even check today actually if it was booked or not. So I don't know if there's people in the campsites. I presume there probably would be. Alright, I'll head down the coast a bit. Try and stay out of all that seaweed and not run people over. I don't know if that's recording. That's about the end of the houses. There's a couple more huts down here behind the dunes. Quite a lot of these dunes have been washed away, and I would say that sand that they've taken from the other side they've been putting in here to try and rebuild the dunes. From now on it's well, I'm in two-wheel drive, but yeah, it's four-wheel drive down through here. I have deflated my tyres down to 20. That just gives me a little bit of extra traction up over the dune at the end. Bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. Got a car right up my bum too. I would say they are probably tourists, not West Australians or Australians, because I've got a very old Pajero and they're following me. This is what you've got to watch out for, these little lumps. If you hit them too fast, you're going to have problems. Very nice water. Pity it's such a strong sea breeze. I would have gone for a swim. but I suppose it still can. Nice dunes over to the right. You can drive your car up in there and play around in them. Normally you see someone up there, but not today. Anyway, another thing along here, yeah, you're coming up to these cars, there's people around. I'm doing 40, probably only doing about 35 actually, but Speedo says I'm doing 40. When you get near them, drop your speed. You're not going to get bogged. Just drop your speed, watch out for people and little kids. Be nice. Usually you go around the back of them so that they've got like access to the beach, but these guys are parked quite a fair way from the beach. They're actually on the edge of the dune, so they're going to have to go around the front of them, or the water side. Sort of closer to the water. I wonder if the tide's going in or out. Don't know. So with these ones, you should really go around the back of them. I think the tide must be out. I don't know whether it's coming in or not, because you can see where it's been wet right up through here. Anyway, what's interesting, the dunes on the right, actually like 40 years ago when I first came up here, there was a little track going up behind these dunes, which weren't here. It was just part of the bushland, part of the coastline, and eventually they got blown out somewhere and got big dunes up behind there that you would have to cross if you tried to go up that track in like you used to. But also, a lot of seaweed out here today. I was expecting, or I was hoping, to have a bright white, nice, shiny beach and no seaweed and get some great photos, but not today. The only problem with the seaweed is also, I'm sticking where everyone's been driving, but if you drove up closer to the dunes there, it'd be really rough and bumpy and horrible. And if you do hit a really soft patch of weed, you know, up there, you'll sink, and then you'll have to try and get yourself out. That other four-wheel drive that was behind me has decided to stop. It's also a lot rougher. They must have had a lot of water come up onto the beach and push back down. It's not normally this bumpy along this beach. Usually it's quite smooth to drive on. Somewhere up there's a headland that juts out into the water. Look at the seaweed everywhere. And it's as far as you can go, but just before the headland is a track off to the right. Oh, you can feel it. It's not sinking into the ground, but you can certainly feel that it's soft when you're driving over that seaweed. No camping. I've camped behind those dunes one night once before. It was very windy. Yeah, if you're going behind there, you can get into the inland track and then go up. But I think you've still got to cross one dune, if I remember right. Yeah, you can see it up there on the right there. But if you go right up to the headland here, there's a track over the top. It's a bit of a wonky track. I'm certainly going to walk it first, just to make sure that it's still open and hasn't been wind eroded. Otherwise I've got to come back here and find the inland track and get over the dunes. But looking at all the wheel marks, I would say that track further up is probably still open. Walk it first. If you're unsure, walk it. Bit smoother here. Still bits of seaweed around. Not like I was hoping it was going to be, but anyway. That's the headland I'm talking about, right ahead of us. You might be able to see through above the dirty, dusty West Australian windscreen. There's a little bump. Plenty of seagulls, so they're turns. Not the seagull, they're a turn. This big hill, sort of just to the front right, there is a track. Well, there was a track. Don't know if it's going to be drivable or not, but we'll find out. You could probably go around the point there and get up onto the next beach if you really want to try. Doable, I think. Doesn't look like it's been driven for a while. There's tire marks going up it. I'll have a walk up there and then we'll whack it into 4-wheel drive and drive up there. I could get around that point over there onto the next bay and then come up at one of the campsites, but go this way's better. I don't like splashing through salt water. Does way too much damage to the car. Anyway, back in a minute. Alright, just walked up there. It's got some funny angles that you'll probably see when we're driving, although this is a stabilised camera. It's like a wind tunnel up there. So, 4-wheel drive. I'd get over in high range, save the hassle, second gear low range, and turn all the traction crap off. I hate that shit. I wish it would just permanently stay off. And away we go. There's a couple of soft spots and these weird angles. Just over here, you can get dragged down there to the right. If you do, just point it down that track and you'll be right. And then there's a little bit of lumpy stuff at the end. Try not to get dragged down there. There you go. Not a wowie. If you're coming the other way and didn't want to cross over that dune, there is a track you might have seen out to the right that goes around inland and then you cross a big dune. So you can get out that way. If you want to play in the sand dune, then that's the way to go. But you are now in Wanagarren campsites. And I'll just go back into high range. In fact, I might even just do 2-wheel drive for the bit, because this bit's quite easy. One of the campsites up ahead. That goes down to the beach on the other side of the headland there. So if I went around the headland, I could have come off the beach there, or I could even have come off the beach just up past this campsite. Now, as I go along this time, I will map or GPS the sites. This is campsite 16, I think, 15. It used to have 16, it's only got 15 now. Alright, so campsite 15, beach access down there, no problems at all. You have to pre-book it all online and all that sort of stuff. Where are we? There. I want to. Mark location, Wanagarren Nature Reserve, blah 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 blah. Save the location as instead of a waypoint, just CAMP 16. No, it's not 15. Used to be 16 campsites, so they must have closed one down. Campsite 15, closed, saved, done. If you're wanting to know, from the point to that little track that goes over the hill, it's 8 kilometres. You can't really go much further, especially if the tide's up. You won't get around that headland. And this is camp. I always thought this was camp 14. 15, sorry. But no, it's camp 14. You might be able to see down there. Sorry, I'm just on there editing waypoints and things and putting the camps in. Save. There you go. Camp 14. Alright. Onward. As you can see, the track along here is really easy to drive. There are some cap rock spots which are pretty rough. And, there used to be 2 tracks along here and they've closed one down, which is a pity. They should have had like a track going one direction, and then to get out you jumped on the other track, so you didn't have not so much head-on collisions. But if you yeah, someone got killed on a motorbike just there. If you come up against someone, you're sort of stuck. You've got to try and find somewhere to get off the track to let someone through. So having that second track open would have been the way that I would have done it. But we're in a national park up here, so well, they like to close tracks. Looks like a fire's been through here too, which makes it a little less scratchy. Or more scratchy, because the big sticks will be sticking out. It's good fun to drive along this track. It's certainly it's a beginner's track, so you've got some funny angles. Tight corners, sand. There's a patch further on that's a bit hard to get up a hill if you're not used to it. Good little trial track, play track. Hasn't been driven on for a while because the wind's blowing all the tyre marks over. Anyway, stop dribbling. I think you've seen enough. There should be another campsite down here somewhere. Here it is. Can you see that? Or maybe not. Camp 13. Right. Can you see what I'm doing? Probably not. Where are we? Up there. Oh, that's already got a campsite marked. And it is Camp 13. And there's a photograph attached to it, so that's good. So I've got that one. I missed one back there. Camp 14 I didn't have. That's right. keep it going, and I'll turn this off because I don't think you really need to watch until we get to the coast again.